Dudes to Dads, brought to you by Dad University, is a podcast to help men understand and navigate the transition of being a single dude into a family man. How do we make sense of it all? Well, we probably won't be able to, but let's go ahead and have some fun trying. And we are back.
We are back.
I'm Jason Kreidman.
I'm Alan Bush.
And this is Dudes to Dads. Alan, guess what today is?
St. Swithin's Day? No, I know what it is.
It's a special episode.
Yeah.
It is episode 150. We've been doing this for nearly 3 years.
Yeah.
Almost.
Yeah.
We did the math last time. What was it, 156?
156 would be 3 years, yeah.
Something like that. In celebration of 150, I want to look back at our previous episodes, and I've created some awards.
Okay.
Because I can.
Why not? Yeah, it's our
and
show.
I only asked you about like two things, so you're kind of aware of something I was doing.
Right.
I kind of just asked you, hey, what was your favorite episode, and what was your this? But so that's what I was up to.
Well, there's a lot to remember. We did so many different ones. We even changed the format. I mean, we were for a while doing segments, and so a lot of that stuff has been incorporated. But I have some things in mind. I think so.
So. Because we can, I really want to just award ourselves.
Pat ourselves on the back.
Pat ourselves on the back. I've come up with a few categories, and I've selected the winners.
Okay, so the voting is done.
Yeah. Well, the only vote really that had anybody else's input was our most popular episode.
Oh,
that's
right.
it. That's the only
that's based off of
downloads.
Input and downloads. And
stuff.
Okay.
That's it.
Yeah.
Everything else is either I decided or you decided.
Okay.
I mean, I don't have a really staff. I didn't submit it to a group of judges or anything like that. I just decided what I wanted to do. So let's get started with this exciting award ceremony. Yeah. You know what I was going to do is have ripped paper and
and the nominees are.
So let's start with the most popular episode.
Okay.
And I think what we'll do is we'll make a little bit of commentary on those episodes and maybe what we got out of them or what was significant about them.
Sure.
And this also then allows people to go back and reference those because we have them on the website. We have them in the archive, so they can go back and reference those.
Absolutely.
Or iTunes or wherever they're accessing.
iTunes, Stitcher. And,
wherever they're accessing.
Yeah. Go Dudes to Dads on any one of those platforms.
Yep. First, most popular episode. Mm-hmm. So episode 49 was a while ago. Yeah.
That reached in the archives.
It was 39 life hacks for dads.
Oh, okay.
So I think what this
39,
proves,
that was a lot.
I know, that was a big one I did. What this proves is that men are lazy.
Yes.
Or dads are lazy.
I'll attest to that. Men.
Right, because life hacks are really cheats to make your life easier.
Yeah.
And so that totally makes sense.
It could be that they're efficient. Or want to be efficient.
No, I would say
it's lazy?
no. I don't know. I'd want to look at the positive. You're right. It could be that they just want to make things easier for themselves and more.
Busy.
You're right. More efficient. Yeah. That's a better way of saying it. But there was a lot of points in there. I mean, different things that you can do as a dad to make your life a little bit easier.
Yeah.
And that seems to be the most popular episode.
That's really cool. I'm glad. Well, and it's because we've had a couple ones that have been pretty somber that were popular about divorce.
Sure.
So, and I knew that was a popular one, but I'm glad to see that the life hack one was the one that got the most.
I think also too, I think these got shared a little more. Socially, so people saw, oh, that's cool, 39, and so I think there was a little bit more activity socially with this one.
Okay.
So I think that had something to do with it as well. So that was the most popular
helps
episode.
It was early episode.
It is, you're right. It gives it more time.
We need some more time, but that's interesting. I like that.
Number 2, the most controversial podcast, and for those who listen to us on a regular basis, they know how controversial we get.
It's a family show. We're not controversial by any means. That being said, there are
my opinions can be very controversial because they're correct. No,
right.
No, but I mean, people I think have different points of view. Certainly on parenting. Yeah. They sometimes don't want to admit it, but the reality is that people who are have vastly different views, I'm going to guess, aren't listening to the podcast.
Yeah, I would guess that.
That's just a hunch.
Yeah. And the whole idea is to educate people that are actually looking for education. So I think that you're going to not get as much controversy. Right. But I mean, that being said, I guess what are the choices?
So, I don't have many choices. There's this one, I think, just seemed struck a chord. There was a couple people provided a little bit of feedback and questioned it.
Okay.
I even had some in-person discussions regarding this. This was episode 105. Does punishing your kids work?
Oh, okay, yeah. I can see that one being.
Yeah, there are very controversial. There are still people that believe that spanking your child or hitting your child works, and that's good for the child.
Right, and you do not.
I do not.
At all
there is never, in my mind, there is never a reason to hit a child.
Right.
Ever.
Yeah.
Even if they hurt somebody else.
Right.
I don't think that solves the problem.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, maybe that's why it was controversial.
No, because the old school thoughts of people, just give a little spanking or a whack on the leg or whatever it is, that still is prevalent. I don't think there's any necessarily a bad thing per se, but
what isn't
that? But I'm not saying I'm not saying I want to do that to my kids, but I'm saying that I understand how people do that, and I'm not like denouncing people to do that.
Yeah, I mean, we can. Approach. Yeah, you can get into like why. I mean, why people do it is because that was done to them. They feel like it worked. They feel like, or also they don't have another answer.
Right.
They don't see anything, and to them they see it working. Well, it's just my belief you don't.
Yeah, no, and I just not to go into a debate again, but I do agree with your method saying, hey, there's got to be other answers, and I think that's the thing to look for. The crux of that episode is to say there are other answers. Try to find what the real reality of the situation is.
Right.
Doesn't require you to just whack.
Yeah, I mean, living by some parents that like to rule by fear.
Yeah.
And if that's how you like to rule, then that's probably you're more inclined to do that. But
we equated that to like being a boss and all of this. Some people are like want to be a leader versus I'm your boss, do what I say type of thing. So
yeah, parents get a little bit
authoritarian.
Yeah, I don't know what the best word is for that, but they get to a spot where they want to show their dominance, and they think that by showing, by doing something physical or being mean in that way actually works, and it really doesn't.
Right.
And it's proven to not. I mean, it's proven to not work in prisons. It's proven to work with criminals. It's proven that physical abuse doesn't work.
It's way better to pay it forward and do something.
It solves the problem in the short term.
Yeah.
It may curb the behavior right away, but it doesn't. You don't learn anything from it.
Right.
You're not getting what you want out of it eventually. So
yeah,
we're very controversial. That's why all these people like to see us. So. Number 3 I did was the most important episode. And I think, so this was for me, I felt like this was an important episode to get the information out there, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I get it.
And that was episode 91, Fighting Depression with Gratitude. Mm-hmm. In not even just in my circle, but seeing feedback, now doing videos online and what people are dealing with, just realizing how many people are suffering from, maybe it's not clinical depression, but they're not happy.
Yeah.
We can call it different levels of depression and such, but they're not happy, and that getting that episode out spawned doing another video and getting things, and I think it's just been something that gratitude is just that it's the gateway to happiness.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And really what I remember growing up and being a lot more depressive than I am. And I guess that comes with hormones and that type of stuff, but also in my 20s. And but when you stop and reflect and appreciate things and are grateful for things, you just feel a lot better about everything.
It's hard to be unhappy when you're grateful.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah, it doesn't matter what stage of life you're going through. There's always going to be some ups and downs, but I do think overall, if you just appreciate the things you have or had or experienced, then you're going to make yourself, it's almost going to change your mood at that moment.
Yeah, the gist of that episode was basically is practicing gratitude on a daily basis can help you feel better.
Yeah.
And, for people that are down and people that are not happy, you can fight that with gratitude.
Yeah.
You can really, really make an impact. So I thought it's a really important episode, I think, for dads, especially just of the stuff that people deal with. So,
right. Yeah.
Next is a little bit of maybe a more fun one. The biggest rant episode.
Didn't we do that recently?
That was the last one we just did.
Oh, the 149?
I'm going to say 149, the phone addiction.
Yeah, because you literally prefaced it by saying This is basically
This is a rant.
Yeah. Because
I had a couple. I had a couple before
We've had
that.
some rants before.
I don't think I was as charged up though as I was last week. It was about. I mean, granted, it's also fresh in my mind. So,
Right.
But the phone addiction. Parents need to put their phone down.
Yeah.
That was a meaningful discussion for me that, I had been on vacation and had been really bothered by how many people had their phones.
Yeah, you were literally seeing it firsthand. So it was a very fresh.
So that was episode 149.
149.
For anyone who wants to check that one out and hear a nice rant. This one I asked you about. So the most impactful episode for Alan, and you said episode 8, which was taking it way back.
Way back.
An interview with a dad about tantrums and the delivery room horror.
Yeah.
So what was it about that you felt like it was the most impactful for you?
Well, I don't have kids yet. And so just hearing, I guess, the worst case scenario makes me feel better that it can step back from that.
So basically, let's for people that didn't or haven't listened to it, we're talking with a dad, and he was talking about how difficult the delivery room situation was with like relatives and scare of like his wife's going to be hurt and like just all kinds of chaos going on. And
but it was a really cool discussion with a dad, a very candid one. Mm-hmm. And I liked that it was my first time talking, besides talking to you, I talk to you all the time, but about the whole process when the kid's coming out of the womb, you know what I mean? like that's the beginning. Like that's probably
and it wasn't just talking about it in a book. Like he was there.
He was there. He was like, oh, this is what's going on. This is what I was worried about. And the things that he was worried about, what the scares were, even prior to the scares happening.
Right.
Because that's what I think a lot of new dads experience. Like, I hope this kid comes out okay, like all the fingers and toes and whatever else that comes in your head. And I know even just not even a dad yet, that's the things I think about first. And then you get into, now I got to raise it and you do the other stuff too. But that's the immediate thing happening, right? But when it gets to this point of 9 months, all right, we're ready. Here I come. What's going to happen? So that's the one that impacted me. I think
that's cool.
Most. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that was taking it way back. So most of these are like in the middle and the recent. So that was good. I was asking you and you're like, episode 8. I was like, okay, yeah, sure. So the most impactful for me, Jason, was episode 102, which was everyone is responsible for my happiness and everyone else causes my pain.
Right. Yeah.
I remember when I was putting that episode together was sort of, granted it was only a year ago, was sort of a result of enlightenment for me of realizing how much I put my happiness on other people.
Yes.
My wife, my kids,
yeah.
Like how they're acting and what they're doing and how they respond to me and whatever. And like how that affects my mood or how I deal with them.
Yeah.
And I'd sort of been working on that for some time, but then there was sort of that light bulb finally of like, wow, like I don't have to be pissed off because they did something.
Right.
Like I can decide that, it was like this moment of clarity for me.
So cathartic.
Totally. No. It's awesome. And so that was really impactful just for me. And then that's why I wanted to share it and do that episode. It was like, it's funny if you go down the episodes, you can say, oh, I wonder what Jason's going through now, like as these episodes go through. Sure. But that's kind of how it was. It was just, I feel like so many of us, this is men, women, children, everything, blame other people for many, many things that happen in their own lives. And whether it's the pain is caused by someone else, they're just not willing to take responsibility for it themselves and make the change.
Yeah. I like how you phrased it just now. Like, I don't have to be upset, by these people. I can actually choose to be upset or not.
I can totally.
Yeah. Yeah. No, and that's interesting because it's a life lesson. And I can imagine it's so when you have kids, it's even more so. And
trying to teach my kids that is interesting. because I have tried, or I am trying.
Yeah.
And some of the feedback has been, yeah, I know, Dad, but it still bugs me.
Still sucks, Dad.
I'm like, well, just because he did that doesn't. Yeah, but that's still bothering me.
I like it though, because I know you kids, both of them have probably been that way. Like, I get it.
Right.
From that
I appreciate
perspective.
that,
I appreciate that, but right now I'm kind of pissed.
It's still pisses.
It's still fresh.
Right. So that one I've still got a ways to learn, or ways to teach, if you will.
Yeah. That's great.
So the next one was the most enjoyable episode for you. So kind of what episode you enjoyed the most, and you said it was a recent one as well, maybe because it was fresh in your mind also.
I think so, yeah.
Episode 148, the best 80s TV shows for parenting.
I like it.
The nostalgia, you like
nostalgia first, but also we kind of took a tangent. It went like when you came up the top, like, oh, that's like very outside of the realm we normally talk about. So I was like, yeah,
but it totally relates.
It totally relates. Yeah, it's like it was fun, and I'm like, all right, now we get because you and I are from the same generation, we're literally the same age, and it's like. It's like, oh, let's talk about TV now, and the things that we grew up with, and it's cool because you're introducing some of the stuff that we grew up with to your kids,
right?
Even though it's not on television, because of
it's on subscription
in media, and like go to Hulu or whatever it is, they can like access your childhood almost. Right? You know what I mean? Like
totally.
That's kind of cool. Like I like that aspect of it.
I wonder if we should do music.
Let's do music because
I don't know if I'd be as good
Michael Jackson.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying, but good for parenting. I don't know.
Well, you're right. Okay,
the best dad songs. Don't think many people will watch that one.
I don't think so. And I don't know if I could pull up even two.
I know
that are about dads.
Well, maybe just some. Well, Cyndi Lauper, "Papa Don't Preach."
They're all
pulled that out of. Yeah. Okay, moving forward.
Cyndi Lauper. Madonna.
That's Papa. Yeah, but there's another one with Cyndi Lauper, though.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I mixed up the songs.
Either way, it's like not a
Papa
good one.
Don't Preach. I'm glad I messed that up, actually. That would have been bad that I got that in 2 seconds. And then the last one was the most enjoyable episode for me. And I was going to say episode 100, which was the interview with my dad.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I liked seeing that one. Honestly, it was cool to see your dad here and talk about things.
It was interesting to hear a lot of stuff that, like, quite frankly, I didn't know.
Yeah.
Or I maybe kind of knew but didn't know the details about.
Yeah.
And just to have that recorded was really cool.
That is cool.
It's
did I give you the video for that? I have the video of that.
I don't know. Oh, good.
Yeah.
I'd love to make sure I get that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just enjoyable to hear that and sort of be able to reflect on that and have that, if you will, for the future. So
that's cool.
So yeah, those are just, 8 quick awards. I think also too, I want to thank everybody. This is, when people listen, they give us feedback, they comment, they give us stars and ratings and reviews. It's really cool. It's really amazing to get that kind of feedback and get people to, or that people are impacted by it. You know? That's why we continue to do it.
For sure.
I mean, yes, it's fun and we like to
talk. It's an outside extracurricular thing, but
yeah, I mean, the meaning behind it is to help, help people. And make an impact, and that's something that's really cool when you see that happen, and then people appreciate it,
right?
And people seem to really appreciate it.
And to see the feedback, to see the people are voting, it's like otherwise it would just be us just talking to each other,
right?
But to see like you said, the impact that people have, I got
it would be like home where I talk and nobody listens,
right? Exactly. It was cool to see recently an email just asking a general question. It wasn't even about like the show per se. It was like, hey, here's a question I had about this. And
we're starting to get a lot more of that, and that's that's something that's that I'm totally happy with. In fact, Alan, if they have questions, what should people do?
Segue as good as that. Podcast@deucedads.com if you want to email us, and please go to our social media channels, deucedads.com on Facebook. Dad University, I believe, is on Facebook as well.
Correct.
And then Twitter @deucedads. Please go to iTunes and Stitcher and whatever podcatchers there are that we are on. Google Play. And go to Deuce of Dads and leave a comment and subscribe. And even if it's just to say, hey, a thumbs up or whatever, give us a 5-star review. That would be helpful to perpetuate the show. And we're also on YouTube with Dad University stuff. And I'm glad to see this evolve, by the way, because it's not just Deuce of Dads anymore. It's like Dad University is becoming a really good resource for the dads out there that need help.
Thank you.
And so also Jason's doing a lot of great videos with the Dudes to Dads and Dad University. So please help support us. 150 episodes, unbelievable.
150. Yeah, thank you for showing up here all the time. Just keep coming back.
Yeah, exactly.
You make quite a commute and to be here. So I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
The time invested in that.
It's a lot of fun.
So with that, everyone, we will see you next time.
See you next time.